Does a zombie virus capable of controlling its host exist in nature? We've previously analyzed the so-called zombie crisis in movies, and that's just pure fiction completely unfounded. But in nature, there are indeed zombie fungi that can infect and control insects. For example, this little creature that makes people shudder is actually an ant that was killed after being infected by a fungus. Judging from the scene, the victim is definitely dead, but was alive before death. The ant was infected by a fungus called Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. After the spores enter the ant's body, they first reproduce in large numbers. Once they reach a certain level, they take control of the infected ant, making it leave the colony and no longer obey any orders from the queen. The ant will precisely climb to a leaf about 25 centimeters above the ground, where the temperature is between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius, and the humidity is 93 to 95% conditions that are ideal for the fungus to reproduce. It will use its mandibles to bite down tightly on the leaf, then hang there and wait to die. About 2.5 years later, the ant is indeed dead. Then Ophiocordyceps unilateralis will bore a hole through the ant's head, grow a fruiting body, and release its spores. In this way, the ant becomes an incubator for the fungus. What's even more terrifying is that this fungus only takes control of all the ant's muscles, without invading its brain. In other words, the ant may remain fully conscious, watching itself step by step walk toward death, yet unable to control its own body. If something like this were to happen to humans, just thinking about it is enough to give you goosebumps all over. There are many similar zombie fungi in nature. For example, some fungi infect flies and likewise steer them to a favorable spot to await death. Moreover, these fungi can even synthesize a volatile substance inside female flies. When nearby male flies catch the scent, they become irresistibly attracted, almost as if they're under a spell, and the fungi then take the opportunity to infect the lured-in male flies as well. Another example is a fungus called Masospora, which, after infecting cicadas, essentially drains them to the bone. The cicadas feel completely hollowed out, turning into zombie cicadas. Just imagine, if this happened in the human world, someone's body is already largely decayed, with bones exposed, yet they can still walk around. Wouldn't that be a full-blown zombie crisis? Masospora fungus also manipulates the infected cicada to mate with other cicadas. Even if the infected one is a male, the fungus will make it mimic female behaviors to attract other males, sometimes luring several at once for a group gathering. To the male cicadas, this looks just like a seductive female swaying her hips and striking alluring poses. Who could possibly resist that? Of course, at this point, some people might be wondering, if this terrifying zombie fungus were to infect humans, wouldn't that be the end of us? Hey, there's really no need to worry. Most fungi thrive at temperatures between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius, but the human body's constant temperature of 37 degrees is like a living hell for them. Plus, our immune system is no pushover either. So the most fungi can do to us is cause minor issues like athlete's foot, turning you into a guy who scratches his feet all day. They absolutely cannot control us. However, they do like to parasitize moist areas of the human body, like the groin. If you're experiencing odor, itching, and a hot damp feeling in your private area, it's most likely due to sweat and urine buildup over time, with a warm, enclosed environment that leads to a fungal infection. Of course, not all fungi are harmful. There are about 2 million species of fungi in nature, including both single-celled and multicellular fungi. The yeast we use for brewing is a single-celled fungus. The penicillium that produces penicillin is a multicellular fungus. The mushrooms we usually eat are also multicellular fungi. However, the mushrooms we eat are not actually the main body of the fungus. The main body grows underground, and what sprouts above ground is actually their fruiting body, which is used to disperse spores for reproduction. It's like the reproductive organs of animals. Although they can't move like plants, fungi are more similar to animals because they are heterotrophic organisms and need to consume food. Fungi can live in almost every place we can see. Rotting wood, dead leaves, bathroom sinks, socks that haven't been washed for half a month, quilts full of mysterious organisms, and so on. There are even different fungi that can decompose rocks, plastic, and even metal. Some species of penicillium and aspergillus can even use hydrocarbons in petroleum as a carbon source for growth. We often say that too much oil will breed more American troops, and it really will breed more American troops. Some fungi can even feed on nuclear radiation. For example, this spherical cladosporium was discovered in the high radiation area after the Chernobyl nuclear power plant accident. Everyone knows about Chernobyl. Humans would turn into Deinococcus after just 2 minutes in that environment. But this fungus can actually use melanin to absorb gamma rays and convert them into chemical energy, thereby promoting its own growth. That's basically true photosynthesis. There are living fungal spores even in environments humans can't tolerate, like the surface of uranium pools, inside nuclear reactor cores, and even on the outer hull of the International Space Station. So, if any life form on Earth could physically cross the vastness of space and spread to other planets, it would undoubtedly be fungi. They are also among the earliest life forms on Earth. Existing fossil evidence shows that fungi have been around for at least 1 billion years. If Earth Online ever gets an update and humans go extinct like the dinosaurs, then fungi with their time-honored skill of thriving under radiation might really become the chosen ones in the next version of Earth Online.